Welcome back, everybody. So, I've got a nice little series planned, kind of a mini series, if you will, in honor of the Olympics. I'm calling it either Solo Beatles Olympics or Beatles Olympics, depending on what we're talking about. So, what is the Solo Beatles or Beatles Olympics, you might be asking yourself? Well, it's very simple. I take three things, and they're either going to get a gold medal, silver medal, or bronze medal. This is all totally subjective. This is totally my opinion, nothing more, nothing less. Just a bit of fun. It's going to be more than one episode, but less than 16 episodes. I'm going to see how many I can crank out of these. And tonight, I figured I'd go ahead and start with the so-called George Martin trilogy. For those that may not know, Paul and George Martin worked together during Paul's solo career between 1982, 1983, and 1984. There were three albums released. Now, obviously, the recording sessions were before those time periods, with Tug of War starting, around 1980. Which is the first album I'm going to go ahead and discuss, and then I'll go ahead and give my rankings afterwards. So, Tug of War, released, of course, as of April 26th of 1982. Definitely a great album. I've ranked it as an essential album, and of course, you've got such hit songs on it as Ebony and Ivory, which was a U.S. number one song. You've got Take It Away, which was a U.S. top 10 song. You've got the title track, Tug of War, which is a very wonderful song. And in fact, recently on Paul's YouTube channel, I've seen a newer video compiled of him working in the studio with George Martin, which I think works well. I think it's actually better than the original video of him and Linda. As much as I enjoy that, it's kind of nice to see that new video definitely going, online and everything. So the album itself, again, at least in the U.S., reached as a number one album. Next, we've got Pipes of Peace. So Pipes of Peace was released October 31st of 1983. It made it to number 15 on the charts, on the U.S. charts, as an album. It does contain the number one single, Say, 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 with Michael Jackson. Also, the title track, Pipes of Peace, which is a nice little track in and of itself. Tug of Peace, which I actually kind of like. There's also an instrumental called Hey Hey, which with Stanley Clarke. A lot of fans don't seem to like it. I've actually enjoyed it for a very long time. That's kind of my take on it, my whole thing on it. So, that's something I've definitely enjoyed. Now, finally, we've got Give My Regards to Broad Street, which, of course, the channel's named after, in case you haven't figured it out by now. But for anybody new, that's exactly why we've got the channel named after that. Released October 22nd of 1984. Of course, we've got No More Lonely Nights, which is actually my favorite song of Paul's of all time. Number 6 single. The album itself made it to number 21 in the U.S. charts. So, a little bit of diminishing returns, commercially at least. There's also two other new songs on the album itself, which with the rest being, Beatles remakes and the Wings song Silly Love Songs. But the two new songs on it are No Values and Not Such a Bad Boy. Those were kind of started during the latter Wings years, about 1979, 1980. There was rehearsals, at least of No Values. There's a version out there floating around elsewhere. So with the rankings, what's going to get gold, what's going to get silver, and what's going to get bronze? Well, I think you might be surprised at what's actually going to get gold. You would think I would give it to Broad Street, but no. I objectively cannot give the gold medal to Broad Street. The gold medal is going to go to Tug of War. It's a wonderful album, as I've said. It's a major milestone in Paul's career. So in this round of events, as it were, for the George Martin trilogy, we award it to Tug of War for the gold medal. All right, so what's the silver medal going to be? Well, the silver medal, and I base it on how often I listen to the album, do I enjoy the album, that type of thing. Silver medal is going to Broad Street. Again, I think No More Lonely Nights is definitely a wonderful song, my favorite of Paul's. No Values and Not Such a Bad Boy definitely have a rocking flavor to them, which was kind of missing on the Pipes of Peace album itself. With the exception of Say, 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 which is more of a kind of pop song, but the sound of these two new songs, kind of harken back to the Wings days, showed that, okay, Paul didn't completely forget how to rock and roll. So what's the bronze medal? Well, that only leaves one contender left. Pipes of Peace comes in third at the bronze level. So again, Not a bad album, but not exactly my favorite out of the three. It's not one I pull out too often. There are some nice tracks on it. The singing throughout all three albums is very well done. Of course, a lot of great personnel. Tug of War and Pipes of Peace, of course, have contributions from Denny Lane. And of course, the Broad Street album has, John Paul Jones on one of the tracks, as well as you've got, all across all three albums, you've got contributions by Linda, Ringo Starr, and Eric Stewart of 10cc fame. So that's pretty much it. That's the Olympics for this event. I'll see everybody in the next video, and we're going to see what the next event is. Until then, take care and be safe.